Alright guys, welcome back to Urge. Moving on in the Subclass Series into the next subclass, which is the War Magic Wizard. Ooh. So, if you're new to the channel or to the Subclass Series, what we're going to do is we're going to go through all the abilities gained in this subclass, and then rate it based on how it improves the roleplay value, combat value, and overall class synergy of the base class Wizard. Also, we're doing a giveaway now that we hit the 5,000 subscriber mark. Thank you guys so much for that.
Yeah.
But we're going to be giving away a couple of the new Tasha's Cauldron of Everything book. So to be entered in that, please subscribe, like, and then comment down below. I'll put the little rules and stuff up on the screen right now. But what we're going to do basically is we're going to pick a comment from the winners from all the videos, give away some books. So it looks like a really cool book coming out. But let's jump straight to this video now. So let's go.
War Wizard, starting off at level 2, you get not one, but look at that, 2 abilities at level 2. Isn't that fun? Starting off with Arcane Deflection. Level 2, when you are hit by an attack or fail a saving throw, you can use your reaction to gain a +2 bonus to your AC or a +4 bonus to that saving throw. When you use this feature, you can't cast spells other than cantrips until the end of your next turn. So basically, you sacrifice some more potent offensive to help you prevent from taking damage. As a wizard, it's a good thing because you ain't got no health.
Right.
Also, at level 2, you do get Tactical Wit. Simple and straightforward. You get to add your initiative rolls with your intelligence bonus. So it's your primary casting stat. So eventually you're going to have a +4, even a +5 to your initiative rolls. So probably be up there like that +6, +7 to your initiative with your base dex stat. And then this. So help you go earlier into combat so you can position yourself and do what you want to do.
Never bad.
Nope.
Level 6, we have Power Surge. You can store magical energy that you basically absorb from other sources. And basically, you can store a maximum number of power surges equal to your intelligence modifier. When you finish a long rest, the number of power surges resets to 1. Whenever you successfully end a spell with Dispel Magic or a counter spell, you gain 1 power surge, as you're stealing magic from the foiled spell. If you end a short rest with no power surges, you gain 1 power surge. Once per turn, when you deal damage to a creature or object with Wizard spell, you can spend 1 power surge to deal extra force damage to the target equal to half of your Wizard level.
Right.
So basically, you're always going to have at least 1 charge, it seems like, after short rest. And then if you are dispelling magic or counterspelling between those things, you can stack up to 5 if you have a 5 intelligence modifier per day. And then you can expend them every time you deal damage to deal a little bit of extra damage on there. So depending on your campaign setting, this is going to be either completely awesome or completely useless.
Yeah, if you got a heavy magic campaign, this is definitely going to have some purpose. The low magic campaign, not going to get a lot of use.
A little bit, yeah. Then at level 10, we have Durable Magic. Basically, what you can do is when you're maintaining concentration on a spell, you have a permanent bonus to your armor class and saving throws of +2. Indeed. Pretty solid. So you have basically half a shield all the time.
Both for your armor class and your saving throws.
Definitely gives you more incentive to be running concentration-based spells for sure on that side of things.
And finally, level 14, you have Deflecting Shroud. When you use your Arcane Deflection feature from level 2, you can cause magical energy to arc from you up to 3 creatures of your choice that you can see within 60 feet. Each take force damage equal to half your Wizard level. So when you choose to use your reaction to give that buff to your AC, or your saving throw, whichever you want to use, you can just for free as part of that same action arc some damage out and force damage at that. And there's no saving throw for the damage. They just take half your Wizard level, all 3 targets do. So, nice.
Yeah. Free damage is never a bad thing.
I never disapprove.
But all that being said, those are all the abilities gained in this particular subclass. So we're going to move straight into the ratings portion of the video.
Indeed.
First up is the roleplay value asterisk. As always, when we're talking about roleplay value, we're talking about avoiding combat, non-combat scenarios, interacting with NPCs, interacting with the world, not acting out your fantasy background, lore history, all that stuff. That's on you. That's not part of the rating.
Nope.
We're looking purely at the mechanics of the subclass of the abilities gained in this.
Yeah.
So, that being said, if you look back at all the abilities, we have Arcane Deflection, gaining bonus to your armor class saving throws, combat-based. Tactical Wit, bonus to your initiative rolls, combat-based. Power Surge, when you counterspell or dispel magic, you're going to deal extra damage, combat. Durable Magic, permanent AC and saving throw buff during maintained concentration, combat. Deflecting Shroud, you deal extra damage, combat. So that's all 5 of your abilities, all being very strongly in the combat section. The only very, very, very minor potential niche use would be Power Surge, Dispel Magic. but that's still like you're using Dispel Magic outside of combat potentially. But then the benefit from the ability is in combat.
Right.
So we had to go with a 1 out of 5 on the function
Yeah.
because there's nothing really that this subclass is giving you to help you with your RP potential.
Yeah.
And again, with looking at the roleplay value, this is just mechanically all based on combat. So all the RP of this subclass is going to be dependent on you to be performing as a player.
Sure.
The subclass is not going to be improving your potential so much in that area. That's going to be completely on you as a player.
If you really wanted to split hairs, I guess, if you're concentrating on a non-combat spell like Alter Self, you then get saving throws against, But again, you're trying to find the very specific things still. Either way, well, obviously, if everything's on the RP side is non-existent, everything is over here on my hand. This we talked about. This is another one of those that was kind of difficult to score, but it's interesting because it does feel unique in compared to all the other wizard subclasses. Because unlike all the other wizard subclasses, if you watched all the rest of them before this one, you don't get the benefit of being specialized into a school where you get the reduced cost and time it takes to add spells to your spell book of that given school. You don't have that. Mm-hmm. It's unique in that fact. You do get a free shield. You use your reaction. It's a mini shield, but regular shield also doesn't buff your saving throws. So it's a wider range shield, but maybe not quite as potent.
It has a drawback too.
It does, and and that's part. And really, like all these abilities are good and helpful. It's the drawbacks you get from them prevents this from being a higher score. Like with Power Surge, Dispel Magic and Counterspell are both level 3 spells. On top of that, you have access to Fireball and Haste. You've got 4 really good level 3 spells that can all be very helpful. You ain't got that many level 3 spells.
Right, you're not going to have tons.
So you're not going to get to trigger this all the time, especially in a low magic campaign.
Yeah.
So the fact that the damage you get out of it's only half your wizard level if you choose to spend a charge. So you spend a level 3 spell slot to get to do at least at level 6 3 extra damage.
Yeah, versus, you use a level 3 spell slot and you cast Fireball and you do like on average
30 damage.
Yeah, 24 to 30 damage or something
like
that. But you're dealing it to multiple targets as well. So you're doing like 100 plus damage for a third level spell versus 10 damage that you might be able to get in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is a benefit like that you wouldn't otherwise get. So it's like extra free damage. You're not, because, sometimes you really need to use Counterspell. And just getting that extra bonus damage later on is fine.
It rewards you for doing it.
But
it's just the reward is not strong enough to warrant a higher score. Your intellect initiative is helpful. Again, never bad to go first to help either get you out of trouble if you get ambushed or get in there and do something cool ahead of all the other stuff. Whether it's a fireball and because you're ambushing them and getting them before they can move out. That's all helpful, but nothing super crazy. To me, the most helpful thing is the durable magic. Just because if we talked about the ideal build almost is going heavier on concentration spells.
Right.
And getting that +2 bonus to your AC and saving throws, very helpful for a wizard who doesn't have any armor or much health to start with.
Right.
And the Deflection Shroud is level 14, so it's a while to get to, but it is helpful because it is just passive damage that does reward you for using your level 2 ability.
Right. And it makes up for the drawback as well.
Right. And it does help mitigate the fact that you can't cast regular spells doing that next turn. It's only cantrips if you choose to use an Arcane Deflection. So a lot of cool stuff. It does kind of weave in and help you do a lot of stuff defensively. But we still went with a 3.5 out of 5, mostly because of the base ability is cool. It's a replacement for shields and to spend the level 1 spell slot on it as much.
Right.
But there is a drawback that says you can't cast cantrips. The other drawback is that takes your reaction. Power Surge, in order to use Counterspell, also takes your reaction. You only get one of those a turn, so you've got 2 abilities that both can use your reaction.
Yeah, you might need to be careful when you use certain ones.
Yeah.
And the one asterisk I want to put in here too as well is I kind of read into this a little bit. So people were like, well, you just take spells like Flaming Sphere or Sunbeam or something where it's like you have it and then it's activated as concentration and then you use your Arcane Deflection and then you're like, well, I just reactivate the spell. I'm not casting the spell again. I read a little bit deeper into it because I saw several people saying that and I found a tweet, I'll put it up on screen, from someone asking Mike Merles about it and he said, no, you can't do that. So we actually lowered. We had a higher score.
We had a higher score for this.
I did some deeper digging, and I said, because you could build a complete. Maybe your DM lets you do it just to make it a little bit better.
Sure.
But
be nice to your DM folks.
Yeah. So
buy them Christmas presents.
Because if you're able to Sunbeam every turn, a 6th level spell that you can reactivate, And then you just, like, every turn you're like, whoa, arcane deflection every single turn, you know. And then you're just like, I don't care, just recast Sunbeam or reuse Sunbeam. That gets pretty crazy. But with Mike Merle's confirming that that wasn't the intention of how this was made, just some poor wording, I guess, on their part. Yeah. On some of that.
It's hard to get all that wording just right.
It can be because you overlook one little thing, and then people are like, well, that's not what it says.
Yeah. So that's why the score was not higher. We usually we're considering a 4, even a 4.5. But when him specifying that no, you can't do that, it's like, well, that kind of takes away the best ideal build for this is kind of
because you take Warcaster with that, and you have a constant +2 with advantage for your concentrations, and then you have Arcane Deflection, you get another +4. So I mean, there's like crazy stuff.
Yeah, Witch Bolt, Sunbeam, Storm Sphere, Flame Sphere.
Yeah, there's
all kinds of fun
several
stuff.
spells that you could do. But
yeah,
I mean, it is what it is. It's still not bad. By no means bad.
No.
Then lastly, we have the overall class synergy. And looking at the class synergy, you have things like spell mastery and signature spells, where you're getting some low-level spells to be able to cast at will, or signature spell, you get 2 third-level spells that you can cast once a day that don't take a prepared spell list and all that stuff. With the spell mastery, you have things like Dispel Magic and Counterspell that are always going to be beneficial to you, getting that extra damage. So those might not be bad options to take for your signature spells. But that is a level 20 ability, so I wouldn't worry too much about it because most campaigns will never even get to level 20. So it is what it is. But then you have, spell mastery. I mean, you might not have to take shield. A lot of people, I think, take shield as wizard for their spell mastery just because they can, cast it at will or ever get that extra bonus AC. But you might not necessarily have to, depending on, how you build your character here. But there's definitely some synergy with concentration spells for sure, because you're going to have that +2 bonus all the time on your saving throws and your AC. And then if you need that extra oomph, you can use your Arcane Deflection just to buff it up a little bit more. You won't be able to reactivate your concentration spells or whatever the following turn if they do have reactivation abilities. But you're being able to maintain them, which is better.
So therefore you got a +4 to your AC, which seems good. But the bigger number that really catches my attention is you get a +6 to your saving throws on top of whatever your regular saving throw plus is.
And I mean, especially if you probably want to take Warcaster just because that way you're able to maintain that bonus, that constant bonus, pretty much indefinitely, as long as you're keeping concentration spells up. But so with the synergy, we decided to go with a 3.5 as well, because there's a little bit of conflict where it's like you might have to actually manage one of the issues that's kind of rare to have is too many options filling up one specific spot. So with being the wizard, maybe the only wizard in your party. If you're the only person in your party that can cast Counterspell, you have to be very careful, especially in certain combats with casters, when to use what reaction. If you take Warcaster, you're probably going to be way more careful using your opportunity attack, spell casting, because opportunity attacks use reaction. Right. Counterspell's going to take your reaction. This Arcane Deflection's going to use your reaction, so you might have to be very careful using your reaction. It's good to have utility, but at the same time, having too many options can feel really bad when you use the wrong one at the wrong time, and then you just get blasted.
When multiple of those options take up the same use.
Right.
Then that's when it becomes different. It's one thing if it's all built in the same ability. Right. Like first example, it was like monks with their key points, like Flurry of Blows. They can do the Flurry of Blows or Disengage. It's all based on one key point for something simple.
Yeah.
And you don't feel bad for using based on that given situation. Where this. The payoff is you got to do one or the other. You can't.
It's using a big chunk of the action economy, for sure.
Yeah,
but it's definitely not bad. It's just there's a little bit of iffiness on there. Putting all your eggs in one basket kind of thing. Your reactions are going to be awesome.
Yeah,
but you got to be really careful when you use what.
So, right, because if you want to try to use your regular spells and use that Arcane Deflection all the time, nope.
Yeah, you're gonna have a hard time. But definitely very interesting, different flavored wizard for sure.
Definitely one I would want to try out at some point. It guys have my interest to see how efficient it really is at keeping a wizard alive. That's really the biggest fear for a wizard or a sorcerer.
Yeah, we were talking even too. It might be fun to multi-class like Eldritch Knight or something with this. It'd probably be really good.
Give yourself some armor on top of.
And then you take
spells.
Cantrips like Booming Blade and Green Flame Blade and stuff like that, where it's you just buff your melees. You don't really care about
you cast haste on yourself. You go in there and start swinging at people.
Right. So there's some cool stuff you can do with some multi-class stuff.
Yeah.
But it's definitely very interesting, very unique. But that's going to wrap it up for this one, guys. So remember, if you liked the video, to subscribe, hit the bell notifications for our new videos coming out. So, and again, remember, comments down below, picking from winner for the new books coming out.
At least 2.
So, comment, subscribe. Always appreciate that. Always love to hear your stories down below. So let us know down below. Get that chance to win as well. Double dip a little bit. But as always, guys, thanks for watching.